What's up, YouTube family? This is Jeff with a little bit of everything home services, coming back to you with another video. Today I'm going to be changing out this mowing faucet right here with a Delta faucet. Here is the Delta faucet that I'm going to be changing it out with. Now I'm hoping that I don't have to change the drain, because this drain, there's nothing's wrong with it, so I would like to keep it. But it does come with a drain that you can replace it with if you need to. So my hope is I don't have to, so I can make this quick and easy. That is the goal. So the first thing you want to do when you want to change out this is you want to turn off your faucet supply, the water that supplied the faucet is being supplied to. So if you look underneath here, all right, I'm going to pull this out to shut the water off on each side. All right. And as you can see, no water. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go underneath here. This is the faucet supply line, water line. I'm going to disconnect the faucet supply water line on both sides, the hot and the cold. And then after I do that, I am going to unscrew the mount that holds the faucet down and just take it off and replace it real quick and easy, as long as I don't have to replace the pop-up. And this pop-up looks similar to the one that's in there, so I should be all right. So let's get started. All right, so first I'm going to unscrew this faucet supply line. And with it, okay, this is not the one that's a nut. This is a just turn, but I can still use this tool for it. So just turn it, loosen it up. All right. And I have a towel. You can't see it, but I have a towel down to catch this any water that drips, because some will. As you can see that running down. I don't know if you can tell or not, but I have a towel down here, so it'll catch that, so I'm not concerned about it. Alright, let's see how easy this is. The first one is down, off, and these are actually not even on tight. They're hand tight, so alright, you see those two? I loosened those two up. So now I'm going to take it out. These two nuts are what's holding the faucet in place. And I just loosened them up with my removal tool. Now I am just unscrewing it easily. Look at that. Just come right on, spin it on down. Come on. Remember, righty tighty, lefty loose. All right. Now I am going to disconnect the pop-up drain. The clip off the pop-up drain took that off. Now I can pull that whole assembly up. Okay, as you can see, now that I loosen those nuts up, it comes right out, the whole thing. And I always wipe off this thing before I put the new one on. Clean it up. Because who else? How often do you remove those, you know? So why not clean it up? So it comes out, you see, here are the mounts that secure. Take the little plastic off right here, screw it off. And these are those same securing mounts that you're gonna put, once you put this in here, you're gonna screw this onto the bottom. It's really easy. You can do this yourself. All right, and remember this plastic, the plastic guard is supposed to stay there. It's supposed to be on there. So you make sure you get it on here flush. See? Get on there flush, and you just stick it on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to reach underneath the sink here, because my arm is long enough to do so. I am just going to reach underneath here, hold it with this hand, with my left hand, and reach under with my right hand, and I'm just gonna tighten it up underneath there to secure it. And you can hear I'm just spinning it on there, and I just tighten it a little, and then I'm gonna grab the other one and do the same thing. Now, if you can't, if you can't do it like this, then just go underneath and look at it while you do it. I've done it so much, it's easy for me to reach underneath there and just put it on. And now that I'm saying it, there we go. I do it by feel, I can do it by feel. All right, so now that I got it somewhat tight on there, I'm gonna make sure it's straight. I'm looking at it and it's straight. So now I'm going to tighten it up more. This is what the new one looks like. And I want to see if I can just keep the old one, because the old one is plastic just like this. Everything except this part right here. This part here is plastic. This one is metal. So I am going to see if I can keep something, just take this portion off and see if I can just use this. So the key to using this, if this will fit, I will not have to use to put the new drain in there, because it would be different if this was it would be different if the drain, if this was all scratched up all around here and looked bad, didn't match, then I would change it out. But in this particular case, it's not necessary. So I'm gonna see if I can avoid doing that, because if so, I'm almost finished. Didn't take long at all. So I'm gonna drop the new one in here so it can be waiting for me down there. All right, so now let's see if I even have to use the new assembly. I may not have to, because you see this right here, the pop-up's still good here. So what I am going to attempt to do is actually use the old one. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I very well could possibly use this old one. Let's see. I have to get it on here really tight because it's... But there it is. I mean, this stays. So I could tighten it up on there and use the old one. But let's see if the new one will fit in here. Because I can use that new pop-up drain and everything. So let's take this one out. Yeah, let's take all that gook out of there. Let's see if it's a different size, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that's a different size. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use this old one. Let's wipe this off. So upon further investigation, if you can see this here, you see how it's breaking? This one is actually breaking. So because this one is breaking, I cannot use the old one. I could, but it's gonna break. So why would I do that? I wouldn't even do that. So let's try this again and see if I can line this up and see if it somehow will fit on here. Now I'm gonna have to line it up with that. Actually, no, I'm gonna use the new pop-up too. The new pop-up drain. Not the drain, but just the pop-up stopper. So I'm gonna use the new stopper here. And the new stopper doesn't reach. Okay. I might have to replace the drain anyway, but let's try one more thing. I am going to try one more time and see if this will connect with the old stopper there. All right, family, so turns out that's not going to work. So I am going to have to replace this drain. after all. I'm going to have to replace it. So it's not difficult to do. Just a little bit more of a step that I didn't want to have to take, only because that thing is about to break. So got to do the right thing because I don't have another type of stopper on there. So here we go. Loosen this up. Now I need to hold this and keep it from moving while I turn this. Turn it and hold the top, the drain up top. I stick a screwdriver in there, keep it from moving. Sometimes it can be a pain. That's why I didn't want to do this. All right, now it's good and clean. So I can put the new drain on. And the new drain is going to go the top. See this on the new drain, the top screws off and screw on. So I'm gonna set this in here. I'm gonna put some silicone in there and set this in there. And this piece I'm gonna push up to the bottom and screw it on there tight. Once it's tight, I'm gonna turn this knob, this nut, and tighten it up. It's a much easier process than that old one. Much easier. I normally use plumber's putty, but in this particular application, I'm gonna use the silicone because it's plastic. You know, plumber's putty is great with metal. Silicone does great with the plastic, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use the silicone. Alright, so I just poke this in this hole right here to open it up. Alright, now back to the business at hand. Alright, you see me putting that bead around there? Now, when I put this down and push it down, silicone pops up around it. That's good. That's quite all right. Now, let's put the drain in. You want to see it? All right. Well, come on down then. All right. So I'm going to put this. I'm gonna hold it at the top, stick this underneath here, and screw it in. And see this little rubber gasket right here is closing in tighter as you turn it, and it gets to the point where it won't. The whole assembly turns. Once the whole assembly turns, you're gonna start clamping down on this nut, but you want to turn it because you want this piece on the back. And now I want to tighten up this nut while I'm keeping this straight. All right, so I'm gonna stick this screwdriver in here to keep it from moving. Take this off for now. Now you don't want to over tighten. You want to tighten it, but you don't want to over tighten this plastic. That's why I don't like the plastic, because it strips easy. And I'll do a water test to make sure it's tight enough once it's hooked up. All right, that's pretty good right there. All right. Now, I can put the new assembly on here. I'm gonna hold this like this, and then I'm gonna put that drain on there so I can slide it in there and make the drain go up and down. The pop up, this right here. And I'm gonna put it in like this. There we go, lined up. Now I just gotta tighten it up. Now I'll show you what I'm talking about, see? All right. Now, let me go ahead and put this drain back together. Well, you know what? Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put this pop up before I start getting the pipes in the way. Connect this right here. All right, I want to tighten this nut back here. I have this hooked up. The pop up, this holding on to the rod right here. And then the pop up running into here, and I got to tighten this up. There we go, it's good and tight now. And what I mean by that, you'll get to see it up here. See? That's what makes it go up and down. So all I have left to do is to put the drain back on here. Alright, so now what do we have left? You guessed it, the faucet supply lines. You gotta connect the faucet supply lines back and screw them back on there. So that's what I'm about to do now. Is screw these back. Matter of fact, I don't want to strip these going on threaded incorrectly, so I'm going to get underneath here so I can see. Because I don't want to have to replace the faucet supply lines if I don't have to. And I'm glad I did because it wasn't straight. I could feel it though. Now, going on straight. So you want to take this off, the strainer off there, before you turn the water on, because what's going to happen is all kind of black stuff is going to come out of here because the water's been shut off. It happens every time you turn the water off. Okay, now like I was saying, you want to have this all that strainer off. I'm about to turn the water on and you'll see why. Oh. Well, maybe you didn't see because I did it too fast there. So you want to turn it on, and you may have missed. See how they just spit, and it was there's normally like little sediment in there, and it'll get stuck in that strainer. So now that I've turned the water on and let that clear out, I'm gonna put the strainer back on. There we go. And let that run, and I'm checking underneath for leaks. Okay, so I'm gonna stop this up. And then I'm gonna let this fill up to about right here. Then I'm gonna let the water out and check for leaks. And I'll take you with me. Okay. So I want to check here and make sure it's not leaking right there. So I'm going to let the water out. And I'm looking all around here, checking to make sure there's no leaks. I'm going to stop it up one more time. I'm going to let it loose again. No water leaking around here. And check my faucet supply lines. I don't see any water leaking from there. It was leaking right here, and I just had to tighten it up. This was a little loose here. I turned it, and I turned it some more just now, but that leak stopped. All right, family, I want to thank you for taking the time to check out the video. Look at what we've done together. We replaced this faucet and the drain assembly. If you have any questions, I doubt I put this full video on here. It's going to be edited and a lot of it cut out. So if you wanted to see the full step-by-step entire video, just put it down in the comments, and I can always put it on their full version, for those who want to sit back and watch the whole thing. All right, family. Thank you again for tuning in. Talk to you soon. Have a blessed day.